Yo, what up? Hope all's good. I figured today I would kind of go over how I do my liquid rhythm basses. Um, yeah, so I guess let's get into it. I use Massive for pretty much everything. Just recently, got Reason Rack and stuff, but I still don't really know how to use it yet. Um, and I'm not a huge fan of Serum. I mean, it's good. I'm not saying I don't know. Back in the day when I was first kind of deciding what I was going to use and whatever, I kind of just gravitated more towards Massive because I was able to make kind of wet, liquidy sounding basses like way better. And I kind of just stuck with it and pretty much just use Massive for everything. But I'm going to expand a little bit in the future. But anyway, right now, we're going to go over this track. This is the most recent, I guess, like liquid track that I put out, so we'll use this as an example. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, that's the sound I made for this. You know, it's I guess like liquid. I feel like there's a lot better. I mean, better is a bad word to use, but there's a lot of really good liquid sounds that other people make. This is what I made, so let's get into it here. Yeah, so, whoops. Like I said, he's massive, and this is just I got a couple different, I guess. Usually I start with one. I'll make one, and then I kind of make like a variation of that. Maybe depending on whatever how many I want. Looks like here I'm using two others, but I think this is the main one. So we're just gonna mute that or solo it rather. So yeah, I mean this is what I'm working with here. You can clearly see. Um, Basically, whenever I start a liquid base, carbon filter seems to be like the best for that. The best that I found, and yeah, it's very good at making like basically you can kind of like when you move it around, there's a bunch of different sounds kind of in this one waveform that you can get if you do like, I have like a very slight LFO on there. This is the LFO I'm using, but it's very, very, very tiny. I usually do that. And just to kind of like pick the one sound in the whole waveform that I like. Um, so I'm just on the MIDI right now. Try to find, lower octaves are typically better for the liquid stuff. So this is -2 on the octave. It's -3. So yeah, I mean already it kind of sounds a bit like it's liquid I would say, but it's a bit I don't know. Liquid can go kind of like a bunch of different ways, but yeah, so I'll just show you real quick with the carbon uh wavetable here. I'm gonna mute the other ones. One thing I wanted to add actually, make sure to set the pitch to -24, which is 2 octaves down. I mean, you could try 1 octave might be okay, but 2 octaves down, um, that's how you're gonna get the the really low kind of wet sounding bass. Um, yeah, just want to add that in. Let's go up an octave here. You know what? Maybe I should go over the. Let's go over this first, and then I'll go into the track, all the post processing and stuff. Um, maybe I should do the other way around, but we'll do like this. So, so just like that, you heard like bunch of different sounds, that you could use. Uh, and yeah, so there's a lot. I basically carbon filter is the way to go, in my opinion. Um, I don't know where it was. Doesn't really matter. But anyway, and then I just have like these, I guess, electric. I kind of just like go in there and mess around until I find something that I guess works. So basically, start with carbon, and then I'll kind of add on top of that with other wavetables. And then pretty much, I mean, I would say honestly, the most important thing to get the liquid sound is the carbon wavetable. Everything else you can kind of just play around with. I have a comb filter, double notch. Uh, kind of. I feel like nothing. Let's see. I got a little modulation on here. Um, the S shaper, sign shaper is. I have two on there. Jesus Christ. Um, I honestly don't know why I have two, but it kind of just makes it a bit like gives it a bit of saturation. Makes it a bit like louder. Sometimes it's too much. I don't know why I have two on here to be honest, but I do. So sometimes I do like to use also. I'm trying to remember. I would say either the Bit Crusher or the I honestly don't remember. There was another one that I use on a bunch of my presets. But anyway, that's good for, making a lot, because a lot of times when you try to make a liquid sound, it's like very, very quiet. So, you want to try and like, make it a bit louder. Because you're using those very low keys, those low notes on the MIDI. So that's the sign shaper definitely helps. And maybe it's like hard clipper or the other shaper, but yeah, I mean play around with this stuff, to help, give it that boost that it needs. And then yeah, you just I mean if you when I use massive I got another LFO, same LFO as I have on here, but on the amp, which is basically the volume, and then you basically put the knob all the way down, put the you know LFO all the way up, so when you hit the note, it'll it'll go from 0 to 100 basically, like I don't know, I'm not great at explaining things, but you know what I mean, hopefully. Dimension expander is always, good to use. Um, yeah, I mean that's about it for in here. Like I said, carbon filter, carbon, Jesus Christ, carbon, wavetable, goaded for liquid. And then we'll get into this here. So what I have on here, I would say the main thing really here is the Vocodex. Really, gives it that like, I don't know, fuller kind of like the liquid sound, I guess. Um, I mean, yeah, you can just check this out. I honestly don't really have any too much advice for this. I just kind of play around with shit until it kind of sounds good. So, but I would definitely recommend you check that out. I know other producers that use the what is it? The other one. It's called the Fruity Vocoder, and I mean their sounds are just incredible, better than mine. But I, for some reason, can't get that to work. So if you can figure it out, definitely go for it. But I use the Vocodex. Um, you know, EQ, cut the lows, another EQ, just boost some stuff. Vocodex, OTT just helps it kind of fit in the mix better, makes it, helps it get a bit louder. This delay is basically how it kind of does like all this automation and stuff, like when it moves around. Like right there, hold on. Like all that shit, that's just a delay. I like the I'm gonna say it wrong probably the kilohertz, whatever. Delay is good. I put it in time mode. And then yeah, just automate that shit. Automate this. This is what's doing it right here. Actually I just play it and show you. Alright, yeah, so I mean you get a lot of different sounds like that. What else we got here? Disperser, that's always good for pretty much any kind of bass you're making, just to give it like kind of punch or whatever. Imager, again, like helping it. It's kind of like dimension expander, just helping make it a little fuller in the mix. I'm a big fan of the multi-band compressor. I basically just use this to make it sound like louder, basically. I guess it cut out. Yeah, I don't know. Just basically just make it sound better in your opinion. I'll just, turn knobs until I think it sounds better than it did without it, Fab filter, and I've been throwing this. This is just another preset that I had made on Fab filter that I throw on my liquid bass. I kind of put it towards the end, and just to kind of help it just I guess to help with sometimes the dynamics can be a bit like the range can be a bit crazy with some of the basses, I guess, and this kind of just helps it kind of stabilize everything. And I have a vocal doubler, apparently. I don't remember that at all, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, throw whatever the hell you want on there, looks like, do I have more on there? This goes, yeah, and then this I have even more. Just a reverb, EQ, and delay. I don't know if this is the delay or the other one. Anyway, this might just be for the this is like the end, like transitions and stuff. Sometimes I'll use a delay, like a separate one just for transitions or whatever. Okay, this is just another EQ, but I like the neutron too because you can you set dynamic mode and it kind of fluctuates with the sound. Just helps it sound more like alive and moving, I guess. Yeah, that's basically how I do my liquid sounds. It's really just the carbon filter that's doing the carbon filter. I keep saying that, the carbon wave table that does a lot of the heavy lifting. I mean, it's just to get it's a good wavetable for making this kind of stuff, I feel like. Um, and yeah, I guess we could check out, let's see. So this is like what the MIDI is looking like for the massive for the bass. Let's see. Yeah, and honestly, like, I just start putting stuff in there until it sounds good, and then once I feel like it sounds good, I'll, you know, there's really no logic behind this. It's just throw stuff on until you think it sounds good. I mean, that's what I do. Yeah. And then let's see what these sound like. That might just be for trying to find it. I heard it. All right, well, I don't know where that is. I don't remember, but let's try this one. I think it's, what is it? It's yeah, so it's this one right here. But yeah. It's on this that you know the base is on the same track, so it's all using the same plugins that I have here. Yeah, if you like the sound that I made, then give it a try. Try to make some stuff. Uh, if this helped you out, let me know. If you think it's terrible, let me know. And that's about it. See ya.